What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Wisconsin Outdoors. Took a trip down to Iowa to Lake Okoboji. It's known for big bluegills and just amazing fishing. Did not disappoint. We had a great time down there. We're going to be doing a video today kind of showing you some tips and techniques for sight fishing big bluegills. We're in about 11 feet of water with weeds. We've been fishing for a few days, so my best color has been purple, and I'm using this little purple fly with a waxworm on it, and I'll show you how I put the waxworm on here in a second. Now with these fish, they're big. Some of them are big, so there's nothing wrong with the big profile. It's the bigger fish. I was using the largest waxworms in the container, and what I'm going to do is hook it through the head upside down, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to hook it again, so then that waxworm is hanging horizontally on a horizontal jig. You have it double hooked so that it doesn't come off as easy. But then the trick is pinch that tail off, and then you're just gonna squeeze this so that it's flat and the juices come out, and that's gonna give this a real nice action down there when it's in the water. It's gonna coax those finicky bluegills. We're just getting started for the morning. We're gonna catch some big bluegills. We'll show you guys how to do it. It's super clear water and highly pressured fish, but it's going to be fun, and we're going to get some big ones. When I start the day especially, I'm pulling my line out through the drag so that it straightens it out and you don't have kinks. We're using real light line, 2-pound test. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my knot is pulled towards the hook. If that knot isn't like that, that bait's going to hang like that. So we want that bait to hang horizontal as best as we can. These fish are really heavily pressured, so they'll eat the head of the jig, and when they do, you don't want to set the hook. So a lot of times that hook's backwards. It won't hook him. Well, he ate the head of the jig and looks like he took off. Here comes a nice one. Alright, fish on. The average size out here is just gross. 7.5, 8-incher. Beautiful fish. We've caught probably 100 of these every day. You know, they don't all bite. That's kind of the tricky part. Trying to figure out what they want, the exact cadence with the jig and everything like that, and it can be tough. Got them. Some of them just come right in and bite it. These things fight so good too. And that's honest to God our average out here. It's a big male right there, probably a little over 8. And every time we catch a fish, we got to be mindful to pull that knot back, and we need to make sure that our waxworm's hanging off there just right. So you got to make sure your presentation's just right, because that next fish that comes in could be a big one. One thing we have not gotten a 10-incher yet. Oh, that's a little one. I'm just gonna pull it away from the little ones and try to wait for bigger ones. You can clearly see the size difference on most of them. Try to wait for the big ones. When the big ones come in, we'll definitely be setting the hook on them. But there's all sizes. I mean, we've caught so many bluegills over 9 inches. It's crazy. You see him, he's just gets close and backs up. I'm just stopping it. I'm just jigging so light. Here he comes. He didn't eat the whole jig, see that? These fish are so smart. Ooh. He ate the head of the jig, which they do a lot. To maximize our potential in a hole, we need to try to jig different parts of the water column. You'd be surprised, some of these fish are 4 or 5 feet off the bottom sometimes. Some of these big bluegills are predators. There's really nothing in the lake that can eat them, so they act a lot more like a predator. There's a nice one. Got him. These things fight so hard too. Just pinwheeling. And I'll do a little bit of explaining about where these fish are. Kind of show you guys the spot if you guys are interested to come down here and catch them. I will tell you exactly where at the end of the video. Beautiful average. Look at these two.
giants. Big ones right there. The one that's biting, it's the smaller of the two. I really want that bigger one. They just drilled holes over there and all the fish came from that way. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Oh, yeah.
Boy should be out here shortly, but...
Look at that, that's a big one. Look at that. That's a bluegill. Like I said, that's a 6-inch hole. It's probably about a 9-incher. Dandy. Try to be real quiet and try to drill all your holes when you get here. And then let those holes rest, because those guys, there's a bunch of locals fishing out here. This isn't a secret spot or anything. And as soon as they got done drilling, came from that way right to me in a little group. And those are the bigger fish, so they are very spooky. You got to be real careful about how you go about fishing them. All the windows closed. If you can, slush it in so that you don't have any light coming in, and that's going to help you see down there a lot better. Fish on. No, they're just dandy. Look at that thing. It fills up a 6-inch hole. And this is the average. This one you can tell is a female. You can tell it's a lot fatter. But, I mean, that's a nice fish. That's 8.5-incher beauty. And we go back to back. Oh, he's just mouthing it. See that? That's how finicky these things are. He's coming back. This one's not quite as big as the last one. I'm gonna stop it. Try raising it just a little bit. Just barely jigging it. Drop it to him. Dropping it. Got it. He liked the drop. Look at that. Now that one's a male. You can see the color difference. That's a male bluegill. It's an 8-incher. Let's see if we can make a 3 in a row. See how my jig's spinning right now? I'm jigging it and it's spinning. You really don't want that. Now I'm letting it sit still. It's not spinning so much. But you really don't want your jig to spin like that. That's a giant. Dude, I had 2 giants and a bass is coming in. Look at the bass, just ate it. Come on, spit it out. I got like a 3-pounder, dude. Dude, it's a big one. Oh my god, dude. This is gonna be ridiculous. Oh no. If I catch this thing, you gotta see it. It might be a freaking, it might not fit through the hole. He just comes in and just licked it. Licked it and then took off.
Oh, there he is.
He's right there.
Dude, that's a good one.
Look at that.
That's sweet.
It's gotta be like an 18-incher. Dude, this thing is bigger than the last one. He's biting it. Yeah, dude, I swear to God, I hooked him. Come help. Dude, this one's bigger than the last one. Oh. That was a big bass. That was bigger than the first one. Crazy. Another freaking, finally a dandy bluegill. Things fight so hard. Look at that. That's awesome. This is a big one. Big old male. Oh yeah. Big old fish. Oh, there's a dent. Not my biggest, but I didn't get a good picture of the bigger one. It's a nice one. Yeah. Oh, there's a big one right there. Alright, here I really like my setup here. The wax worm's sitting on there just perfect. The jig's just sitting perfect. Everything seems to be perfect with my bait. So let's hope that the next big bluegill, like this one, eats it. it's the little things that get these things to bite or not. It's just the minor little details. Help you catch bigger fish. Another really nice bluegill. Sometimes rig up my wax worm, send it down there, and I can just tell it's not rigged right. And that's one of the really cool things about sight fishing, is you're able to see what your presentation looks like exactly, and you're able to see the mannerisms of the fish, what they like, what they don't like, and you can get really pretty dialed in. There's a nice one. I hear these people drilling right next to me. Oh, and that fish just swam away. That's part of it. I don't think it's anything we did wrong. There's another big one. There's a big one. Look at all them things. Those ones were aggressive. It seems like when you get some of the bigger ones together, they're more likely to bite. That's just a wide fish. See you, buddy. Look at there. Beautiful fish. There's big ones down there everywhere right now. There's a big one. I just dropped it right on its head. Let's see if it's turning. Turning. Bite it. It's gonna eat it. Oh, it's hesitating. Car's coming. Of course. Truck driving by. Spooking my bluegill. The bluegill is still there. Bluegill is coming to eat it as soon as the truck leaves. Oh no! Coming back. Ate the head of the jig. Got it. That was a fun one. Beautiful fish. The average is just crazy. And I know that I can see the fish, but I'm using the Vexilar just so I know where my depth is, because I'm jigging about 3 feet off the bottom. The little ones will actually scare or prevent the big ones from coming to your bait when they're all surrounding your bait. The big ones don't like that. I just drop it on their heads and get the little ones to run away. Oh, there's a big one. Some of them just come flying in. Oh yeah. You can't tell me this ain't beautiful. This one's turning back around. He came up and missed it. Went below the jig, and I just dropped it down to his level, and he turned right back around. Oh, he's being a bugger. There we go. Just working them. See what they like and don't like. I'm catching bluegills like it's the last day of my life.
For our tournament, we were limited to Emerson Bay, so you had to draw a line from point to point here, and we were not allowed to fish past that line. Now, our best area was right in here. You can see these two little depressions. There's one right here and one right there by the P. Around, basically about where you see this 10-foot depth line is where the weeds started. And depending on the time of the day and how everything, you know, the bluegills were acting, those bluegills were either out in the middle of these little holes, they were just on the edge of the weeds, or sometimes they were in the weeds. The biggest key was getting near that weed edge, and sometimes it was the difference between 5 or 10 feet, and the big bluegills were coming through. So if you guys are looking for, this was the best area that we found, was right over here. And we also did some fishing back in Little Emerson Bay back in here, and caught bluegills there. And we caught bluegills right off the boat launch, right down in here. So if you guys are heading out there, those would be 3 good spots to try. Tons of fish. You will catch fish if you go to any of these spots. If you guys are down there, we stayed at Americ Inn in Okoboji. It's $93 a night, pretty affordable. That was with a double bed. And there's great restaurants down there, great bait shop called Stan's Bait Shop just down by West Okoboji. It was a great, great time. If you guys decide to go down there, I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's it for this video. I appreciate you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.